because I just really want to frame this conversation for you. So as I was thinking about this group in particular, yesterday, I felt really strongly that I really wanted to come into this session today and just shake shit up. I wanted to connect directly with the woman in you. I wanted to push past the roles of mum, wife, sister, friend, and I wanted to just go straight to heart center and just speak to the part of you that knows what she wants and wants to be activated and just wants to use this time to be reminded of just how capable and powerful she is to actually step up and into the leadership role of her life. And as I was thinking about this and as I was feeling it in my body and truly getting genuinely excited for the opportunity to speak to you all today, there was another part of me, a voice that came in and said, no, don't be too hard on them. Don't do that to them. They're probably trying so hard. Don't push them too hard. Don't be too loud. Soften your approach. And I stopped myself and I asked why. And I asked myself, am I actually insulting the women that they are by thinking that I have to dilute the message that I feel is coming through me and for you today? And I feel like this is what happens to us in our lives in so many areas. We want to make progress in something and we reach out for help and for support. And because women, right, are positioned to be polite, to be accommodating, to be empathetic, there is a part of us that always believes that we have to soften the truth so that we don't rattle each other. I had someone during the week tell me that a practitioner that she had been to, who was a man, told her that she needed to embrace her feminine side more. And the woman in me roared at that for her because she is a woman that really needs to activate some power within her. She needs to make some declarations and decisions. And I said to her, so often we are told that being a woman means that we are supposed to be softer, right? I said the most feminine thing that a woman can do in her full power is friggin' birth a child. And I said, there is nothing soft or dainty or half-hearted about what women are actually capable of doing. And so in that conversation with her, I said, don't listen to any man that tells you that being a woman means that you need to soften or that embracing your feminine side means that you need to soften. That's not necessarily the truth. And so when I thought about coming in and speaking to this group of women who have actively raised their hand and said, I'm lifting the standard for myself, how I feel about myself, what I choose for myself, how dare I think that I'm supposed to come in here and give you some watered down version of what I feel that you really need to hear today? And so for that, I apologize that I put you in the category of, oh, she can't handle it. And I want you to know that today I've come in here with the intention to speak to the woman in you. And I know how strong and powerful and capable and resilient you are because I know that of myself. And there is nothing unique or special or interesting about me, apart from the fact that I have become a woman that has decided to believe the part of her that knows is worthy of being the part of her that leads in this life. And so today in this conversation, what I want to do for you is just shake shit up and ask you to take a stand for yourself, to decide again, to devote yourself again, to declare again that you are committed not just to seeing a number on the scale change and shift and go up and down as it will, but to devoting yourself to being a woman that is using this experience as a beautiful opportunity to see the way she can set a standard for herself in her life. She can decide what she wants and she can make that shit happen. Now, I know, and I've said, and I've never been shy about the fact that I hope you achieve these goals that you set for yourself because it's fun, because it's really fun. And you should be able to decide the way you want to feel within your body, the way you want your body to look. We have the power to do that and to change that and to take control of that. And you should. It's your prerogative as a woman to decide what you want to, reflect when people look at you. But I've never, ever, ever been shy in saying that some weight loss is going to be the thing that finally gives you permission to decide that you have arrived in your own life. There is no number on a scale. There is no number on a pair of jeans. There is no photo you are going to see of yourself that is going to be the permission slip you think you have to wait for to decide, I have arrived in my full power as the woman that is leading her life. And I just want to remind you of that. I want the results that you achieve in this program to be evidence for you that you can make things happen for yourself when you decide to. I want it to be evidence for you that you are worthy of being supported by people that can fast track you, that bringing on coaches to support you and help you is the smartest decision that you could make for yourself, so that you continue to ask for support and help in the areas of your life that you also need it beyond this. I want this to be evidence for you that things don't stay the same. That when you change something in your life, something will be changed and you will have an outcome that reflects whatever it is that you are doing, positively or negatively. If you do the things that you're supposed to do in this program consistently, consecutively, and with complete devotion and commitment, you will get the result you want. If you come into this program and you're doing things half-assed and you're using rationalizations and justifications and excuses for why you can't do exactly what your coach is telling you to do, your results will reflect that. Let this program be evidence of that, so that you can see the ways this is how you do things in your life in other areas. How you do one thing is usually how you do everything. I guarantee you, if you don't have control of what you are eating, how you are moving your body, and what you are thinking, it is likely there are other areas of your life that feel just as out of control. So, my beautiful friends, let me remind you, research has shown that most people, particularly women, are only aware of about 25 to 50% of the power that they have to activate their voice, speak their truth, take control, and lead. And the reason that is, I've spoken to you about this before, is that anything more than 50% of being in your own power starts to feel like a threat to the people around you. When you decide, I lead, I choose my decision, not my conditioning, not the traditions of my family, not the reflection of my community, I decide, and it looks or feels or sounds a little different to the collective around you, it starts to feel like a threat. And we don't like to feel threatened. We like to feel like we fit in, like we are accepted, like we are loved, like we are valued. And that's why it's so hard to decide we are going to change for ourselves. I experience this for myself all the time. I had a heated conversation last night with my husband. It wasn't really an argument, because I'm not up for an argument about it. He was teasing me about some of the breath work that I was facilitating and teaching and posting online. He's always got some smart ass thing to say about it when I talk about connecting to heart center and breathing and doing certain things. And he was saying to me, show them just like how hard you go in the gym and how strong you are in your conviction and the way that you speak and the way that you activate certain parts of your life. They don't care about how you're breathing. And I said, yes, but that is a part of me and it's part of what I do every day. And he said, yeah, but that's not like the stuff that people want to see. And what I realized is that the part of me that he sees, he appreciates, he respects, is the part of me that comes into the gym. He met me in the gym. He knows me in this way, in this context. That's who I am to him. So when I'm trying to demonstrate other aspects of me, he's like, I don't know what this is. I don't understand what this is. This isn't you. And this is what happens to us. And I said to him, could it be true that just because I haven't been doing something for 10 years doesn't mean that I'm not allowed to step in and evolve and change and make this part of who I am? And that shut him up, because he knew exactly what I was saying. It was, listen, mate, you better make space for me to grow and evolve and shapeshift, or I will find the space somewhere else. He knows this of me, right? And he ate his words a little bit. I think this happens to a lot of us in a lot of ways. We try and do something different because we want to generate change. Maybe it's a new routine. Maybe it's just, eating something different. Maybe it's deciding that I am going to be a morning person, or I am going to enjoy exercise, or I am going to try and have more fun in this family. And people look at us and they say, that's not who you are. That's not who I expect you to be. And they shame us. And because it is not a habit that is yet embedded within us, because it's just something that we are exploring, not something that we have fully embodied, we shrink and we go back to what is expected, what is normalized, and what is accepted of us. And that is why it is really hard for us to generate long-term, sustainable, fulfilling change for ourselves in our lives. So many of the women that I have worked with many times that have cycled back around like generating change in some area of their life and then going back and just like, doing the thing that made them feel like they needed to change in the first place, communicate that it was because their environment didn't change, their relationships didn't change, the way they communicated their needs didn't change. Beyond the intention that you set, beyond the goal that you set for yourself, other things have to change. And the first thing that has to change is the way that you see yourself and the standard you set for yourself and what you decide for yourself. Because people will not believe you initially when you change. And if you constantly give your power away, if you are constantly looking for the affirmation, the validation of other people to tell you that this step that you are taking is the next right step for you, or that you are headed in the right direction, or even that they are going to be by your side if you move in this way, you will always be limited to their perception of potential and possibility. Always. And the question we need to ask ourselves is, am I okay with living my life as a reflection of what the people around me have decided is acceptable? That's why sometimes we seek counsel from outside of our own circles. That's why we get mentors. That's why we get coaches. We want to fast track our growth, our evolution, the way that we move through our life. And we want somebody to show us what is possible. You see a woman that is doing the damn thing or living the way or expressing herself in a way that you desire for yourself. She's not your competition. You don't need to be jealous. She's your evidence. She is the manifestation of what is possible for you. The question that you need to ask yourself is, what is it that you continue to believe that is blocking you from claiming that today you are the woman that can tap in to the belief that she is capable, she is worthy, she is committed to living a life that is the fullest expression of who she chooses to be. And this is not about us. This is not, I want to be the best that I can be so that I feel like I'm a legend. As women, I think we know this. As family women in this circle here, I know that we all know that this extends beyond us. This is, let me be the fullest expression of who that I am so that I can be a role model, so that I can lead the way for my family, so that I can have the kind of energy that overflows through me and into my home and into the orbit of the people that I love and I care about and I am responsible for. It has to be bigger than you. And it is bigger than you. And once you see that the time, the focus, the dedication, the money, the resources, the energy that you put in to taking care of yourself and actioning your own intentions and doing the damn thing will ultimately satisfy and fulfill the needs of the people around you, then your motivation is unlocked. And how dare you not step fully into your own leadership to make that happen today? It breaks my heart that women are spending so much of their time, effort, and energy trying to focus themselves on working out, how can I weigh a little less? How can I look a little better? How can I fit into a certain size of clothing? What a waste. What a waste of our energy. What a waste of our thought forms. What else would you be capable of creating, of causing, of activating in your life or the life of the people around you in your family or your community if you could extend past this version of you that is so caught up in molding yourself to be a reflection of what the mainstream media tells us we need to look like before we can activate the woman in us that is here to actually live a life that is phenomenal? What will it take for you to get over it? For some people, it's achieving the goal. I am in no way telling you that the goal should no longer be important to you. In fact, I'm telling you to hurry up and clear the way and do the things that you have to do to feel good about yourself within yourself so that you can finally do the things that you are supposed to do in this life. That could be big, or that could just be connecting meaningfully with your partner, offering all of yourself, mind, body, and soul to the union that you have devoted yourself to in this life, that you are not fully devoted, committed, expressed in. I told you I was coming in strong today. I just can't pretend anymore that we need to have more conversation about calories and macros and step counts. I can't. I don't think it matters. Not as much as these meaningful conversations that remind us that we are here for more than that. Your goals around your wellness, your health, your weight will positively contribute to your sense of self, to your energy, to all of the things that are going to activate the parts of you that you are actually here in this life to explore and to expose. Don't spend your life in the margins of the story that you are supposed to tell through who you are. Whew, I like that. Someone write that down. Am I recording? Right? We're making notes. Our life is like us making notes about who we are going to be and what we are going to do once we achieve a certain thing, and then we get to be the woman that we want to be. Then we get to say the things. Then we get to go and take the opportunities. Don't live your life in the margins. And so I'm just offering this conversation to any woman who can recognize that she is using her weight loss or her lack of weight loss as the reason why she's not activating the next part of herself that is just longing to come forward. When I talk to women about what success would feel like, what happiness would feel like, what fulfillment would feel like, and what it would look like, and how they would move and what they would experience, so much of that is available to them in the moment that they are in. You can have that, you can claim that, you can access that, you can be that. But they've convinced themselves that they're not allowed to feel fulfilled, empowered, embodied by their own sense of self unless their body looks a certain way. And I know we need to do it the other way around. We need to accept the power that we have to be embodied by the belief of who we are, not because of what we look like, but what we know is true for us. what only we can bring forward in this life. And once we fully light that flame within us and we realize how necessary we are for what we're here to create and cause, or just who we're supposed to be as a mother, sister, friend, then taking care of ourselves becomes obvious. I just want you to feel into what you are hearing in this conversation. Just feel it. Sometimes there are conversations that we have to have that it's like, I don't want the logical part of you to listen. I want your body to hear it. I've written something down for myself. Let me find it. Here it is. For so many years of my life, I would feel like I wasn't a good enough coach yet if the people that I were working with didn't quite get that full body click, didn't make the shift within them, couldn't do what they had intended to do without my support, right? I've never been interested in inspiring or motivating people. I'm not interested in that. I want to activate the women that I work with so that they go and they choose for themselves and they do the things that they need to do in order to be the woman that they want to be in their life, right? I have no desire to run beside you in your race. I can't keep up, right? And I used to feel like shit if I couldn't, see women out there doing the things that they wanted to do once I had activated them. And I had read something or I heard something years ago that really kind of like liberated me from feeling like it was my responsibility to carry women forward into their own future. And I came across it in one of my notebooks and I was like, I needed this reminder and I'm going to share it with you. And it's quite confronting. And for some of you, it's going to feel like an attack. It's going to feel like a trigger. It's going to feel like, oh, shit, that hurts, because it's true. But I want you to hear it. So anything that we communicate or teach, we know as coaches, it is pretty much proven through, I don't know what research, but it sounds good and I believe it. And I've seen it through lived evidence that when you teach something, when you communicate something, 80% of people that sit in front of you and listen and nod will bookmark whatever you are trying to teach, communicate, impart on them for later. They'll bookmark it for later. They'll think, yep, I'll think about that later. And I think I said in the last time that I spoke to you guys, when people say to me, yeah, I'll think about that, you've given me a lot to think about, I literally just want to like bang my head against the computer screen because the more thinking does nothing, right? But 80% of people do that. They bookmark it for later. 50% of people will take on something new for themselves, but they'll do it for a few weeks, for a month. They'll try it. I'll give it a go. I'll try. 40% will take it on for longer, but then over time, life will distract them. Their energy will be demanded in some way, and they will revert back to autopilot. They won't continue to choose the new thing that they were working on embedding in their life, and they will revert back to what they were doing. And only 10% of people will take it all the way. Think of the books you have read, the programs you have bought, the courses you have been part of, the things you have watched and listened to. And I'm willing to bet that it is more often than not, you are not falling in the 10%. Right? And this isn't to shame you, this isn't to judge you, but it's just to wake you the hell up. To make you realize that you need to be more than a passive participant in the things that look exciting and motivating and shiny and new. If you go to a bookstore and you see the self-help section, it is gigantic. Gigantic. How can there be so many people coming out with new ways to help yourself consistently all the time? It's because people are open to the next thing because they didn't do the last thing. So I want you to know that this program that you are in, you have all the information that you need here. There is no magical weight loss, nutritional workout information that is being held back from you. There is no other program that is going to deliver to you something that you don't have here. It's whether you decide to be in the 80%, that's like, yes, I'm kind of learning, and like, yes, I'm just happy to take the information on. 50% of you that are like, yeah, I'm doing it for now. The 40% that will do it, but if it gets inconvenient, then you probably won't. Or you are the 10% that is deciding that whatever it takes for me, I'm setting a new standard for myself. And this is just the rocket fuel that I need to evolve forward and be the woman that gets a handle on all of this. This is the chapter of my life that I got in control of my health and fitness. And I'm going to write this chapter, and I'm going to do it well, and I'm going to turn the page and move on to the next damn thing in my life. How many times do you need to start again? Aren't you bored of it? Aren't you so bored of these conversations of what to eat and how to move? And oh my God. My laptop just told me that my screen time was up by 30% last week. Okay, judgy. God. Studying. All right. Aren't you sick of it? I know you are. I can tell when I come into these conversations with women and they're like, all right, tell me what I need to hear. Like, no one's excited in like, yes, we're doing this, because we've been here 100 times before, and there's a big part of us that doesn't believe that we're doing anything. So why am I here showing up to this thing again when I know this time next year I'll probably be talking about the same thing? It's about you being able to activate the part of yourself that decides this is happening and this is happening now. It's about activating the part of you that does not need to be motivated by the metrics. If the scale does not work in your favor 1 week, and I guarantee you that will happen to you time and time and time and time and time again, is that enough evidence for you to say, too hard basket, I no longer matter, my desires no longer matter, putting this to bed no longer matters? Or are you the woman that says, cool, I see that as data, I'm going to use my coach to support me, and I'm still moving forward? It really is as simple and as complex as that. If you want to live your life believing that your success, your happiness, fulfillment is only available to you once you look a certain way, weigh a certain way, you are going to spend the rest of your life on this roller coaster, because our bodies are not designed to hit a certain weight and stay at a certain weight. That's not going to happen for you. Bless all of us here. We are aging, and it's a beautiful thing. We're lucky. You're so lucky to age. What's the alternative? So I want you to know, not that it's not possible to have the body that you desire, but it is impossible to have a body that doesn't fluctuate in the way that it looks or what it weighs. Get it out of your head that there is one way of being that is going to satisfy you. Because even if you get to that moment, it is fleeting and it is gone. And even if you had a whole photo shoot taken, those images would only depress you further if you held that as the image of this was when I was at my best. What does that even mean? Liberate yourself. It's the biggest lie that we have been told, that to feel good, we have to look good. And that looking good is a certain image. And that if we fall outside of that image, then we don't look good, and so we should not feel good. sounds so simple when we say it, right? Like, why am I buying into the belief that I have to look a certain way before I can feel a certain way? If the way that you look is impacting other areas of your life, okay, that's a conversation for us to have. And there again is your motivation to get on top of this. Yeah, I know that you feel this. And I want you to think about the other areas of your life that would benefit from your time, your effort, your attention, your resources, if you got on top of this one thing. How would you show up differently into your life if you released yourself from the story that you were a woman that's a little insecure, a little uncomfortable in her body, a little unsure of herself? What would you begin to say yes to without doubt, without hesitation, without restriction, without watering yourself down or filtering yourself in some way? And don't you want to be the woman that shows up fully into every room that she walks into? And she owns it and she claims it, not because she thinks she looks great, but she knows her worth. And the energy exchange that she brings and she imparts on everybody that she comes into contact with is so big and so bright. We see women like that in our lives. We get around women like that in our lives. We know it is possible for us. We do this for ourselves, but like I said, it's bigger than us. Think about the people you love. Think about the children watching you. Think about your friends that would benefit from your support. Think about your community that would benefit from you activating yourself. All right, gone for longer than half an hour already. The one screen that I wanted to show you guys, and if you are not looking at a screen right now, I'll talk you through what it looks like. So what we have here today, let me just make it a little bigger. No, went to the wrong screen. Sorry, guys. That's annoying. Sit with me. See, I decided not to talk you through this. I'm bypassing because I wanted to just speak to you guys. All right. What we're looking at now is a target. So imagine if you were going to do archery. There's a target and there's rings, right? From the outside, inside. That is our bullseye. What we have in that bullseye is what is referred to as the zone. And that's where we want to spend most of our time, money, energy, and resources. We want to be in the zone. We want to be using our time, our effort, our money effectively so that we are getting the outcomes that we desire for ourselves. And as you look at the rings that go further out away from the center and to the outer edges of that target, you will see that it says on the outside of that circle, things that are not urgent and not important. And we're going to talk about this in the way that we use and manage our time, our efforts, our energy. So the outside ring is not urgent and not important. When we come in, one more ring, things that are urgent but not important. The next ring is things that are urgent and important. And then finally, when we get into the zone, that sweet spot where we're doing things and it's fulfilling and it's getting us the results that we want, that's when we're doing things that are important but not urgent. And I'm going to talk you through what that means. So when you look at your day, when you look at your effort, your energy, your time, your attention, it's really important to know that in order to achieve the goals that you have set for yourself, it usually doesn't take a lot of time, a lot of energy. If we can execute effectively the things that we know we are supposed to do, it actually doesn't take a lot of time. If you think about how much time you're supposed to commit to a workout, how much time it would take to food prep, how much time it takes to eat, we're talking like under 2 hours, maybe under an hour a day. It's not that difficult. where we tell ourselves we don't have time, I don't have energy, I don't have the motivation. Why is that? Because we spend most of our time doing things that are not urgent and not important. So the first ring is the ring of distraction. And so it is a really powerful exercise for you to think about yourself in the last week, if that's too difficult, even in the last 24 hours, and think about all the things that you did just to distract yourself when you felt one way and you didn't want to feel that way. So you decided to just shift your mood, shift your focus, distract yourself in one way. Scrolling on your phone, watching TV. For some of us, it's very sneaky because it looks like, oh, I've decided I need to clean my pantry out right now. Not urgent, not important, but we make it a priority. The next ring inside are things that are urgent, but not important. And that's called the ring of delusion. So that could be, you have voicemails on your phone that you need to get to. And you're supposed to get out the door to go and do the grocery shopping or go to do your workout or do whatever. And you go, oh, yep, I'm going to do that. But first, just let me check my voicemail. Or first, just let me check my email. Or first, just let me do that thing that feels urgent in this moment, but it's actually not that important. It doesn't have to happen in this moment that I am in. And we make ourselves feel significant and important and valued. We delude ourselves that we are that important, that the thing that we are making urgent has to be done right now. And the problem with spending too much time in distraction and delusion is that it just zaps us of our energy, of our willpower, of our desire to get shit done. We're not unlimited in the energy that we have every day. And so if we are allowing ourselves to be pulled, to be drained in the areas of distraction and delusion, we're minimizing our capacity to effectively execute the things that really matter as we work towards achieving the outcomes that we ultimately desire. The next ring are things that are urgent and important. It's the things that are demanded of us. And as women, we can all smile when we go, yeah, there are things that I have to do in my life because I have to do them. Because my kids can't take care of themselves, because my house will not run itself, because the clean clothes won't make it from the washing machine into the dryer by themselves, right? We get this. We understand this circle of demand. It is urgent and it is important. The other way of looking at this circle is that sometimes demands are placed on us in areas of our life that we have neglected. So if you are neglecting your financial situation, you're just blindly spending, you're using credit, you're putting things on Afterpay thinking I will deal with it later. If you are neglecting your health, you're eating whatever, you're gaining weight, maybe you have symptoms, something's concerning you, you're not dealing with it. Your relationship is flat, is uninspired, is disconnected. It becomes a demand. Something becomes urgent and important when you have neglected it, and now it is too late and you are forced to pay attention. When a doctor tells you, when your partner is leaving you, when you're so far in debt that it's keeping you up at night, then it becomes a demand to deal with it. It's become urgent because you have ignored what is important. We don't want to spend our lives there. That is stress. That is overwhelm. That is anxiety. That's how we bring that into our lives. We make things urgent and important because we don't have systems in place for managing our time and managing our life. We put things off and we wait until it's too much of a problem that we have no choice but to deal with it. And then we run around in circles. And because it's uncomfortable, We spend more time in the land of delusion and distraction because we don't want to feel that way. And what's urgent and important becomes a bigger problem. And then we wonder, why am I fulfilled? Why am I happy? Why don't I ever feel at peace within myself? It's because we're spending all our time, throwing our time, our energy, our money, and our resources at the parts of the target that ultimately are never going to fulfill us. And so we need to become masters of getting really good at getting really clear for ourselves what is important and how can I focus time, money, energy, resources on it consistently in a way that feels good, in a way that makes sense, in a way that is effective, so that I live my life feeling really fulfilled. That yes, I have to put time, money, energy into things, right? Yes, it requires me to step up into leadership and I have to make decisions that are not always comfortable and I have to push myself to do things that sometimes feel like a struggle. But ultimately, I've made choices for who I want to be and what I want. And while I stay in this zone, while I stay focused on the things that matter, while I stay devoted to the things that matter, while I really have clear systems and structures for the way I manage my time and my life, I'm fulfilled. My life is a reflection of the choices that I'm making for myself, and it feels good. Think about where most of your time, money, energy, resources goes. Women that create to-do lists very rarely have a to-do list that reflects that inner circle, doing things that are important but not urgent. And do you know that's why? Because they've made a to-do list because they haven't paid attention to what's important. And now they feel like there's 100 things that they urgently have to do. And they're working out, oh my God, in what order do I need to do this? To-do lists are not a reflection of somebody that is organized and managing their life and their time effectively. A to-do list is a reflection of a person that feels overwhelmed because she is making everything urgent and important. And it cannot all be urgent and important. You shouldn't need a to-do list if you're really clear for yourself what is important right now. And if you apply yourself to it, it will not feel urgent because you'll apply yourself with consistency and with clarity. So I would say, being in a weight loss program, it is more than okay to make anything that is related to your weight loss goal part of that inner circle. And if you did that, if you made it important, if you kept applying it yourself to it, your desire to see change wouldn't feel so urgent. It wouldn't feel like you're demanding some result from the scale. So the question becomes, what does my life look like? If I had to write down all the things that I'm doing and how it feels, where does it fall on this target? And of course, we all want to do things that distract us from time to time. That's lovely. That's part of being human. That's giving ourselves a break. I'm not saying that you should spend all your time in the zone, right? But the best of you should be there. The majority of your time, energy, money should be there. And for most people that are lacking results or lacking follow through or lacking fulfillment, that's not the case. They spend most of their time in demand, delusion, or distraction. Think about what you are planning on doing next after I stop talking in a few minutes. Have you mapped out your day? And you definitely do not have to map out a full day. Good Lord. But if you know yourself as a person who has an awareness of how she can activate the best of herself, what that looks like, how that happens, what time of day that occurs, and she knows it should be less than a handful of things that she has to execute effectively to move her in the direction of the desires that she has, then you live fulfilled. And then the demand and the delusion and the distraction is okay because it is not impacting you in a way that is limiting your ability to create whatever it is you are out to create. Get really clear for yourself what needs to be in the zone of important, and don't let it feel urgent. Get really clear on what it needs to be, what it looks like, and how you apply yourself consistently so that you can do it with a sense of flow and ease and confidence. For most people that come into programs, I know they're in that zone of demand. I need to see results now because this feels like shit. I get it. And so what you want to do through the use of a program is move the actions from demand into the zone. Embed it into your life, make it part of who you are, get really clear on what you are focused on this week. Don't let it be more than a handful of things, and do it. Sounds so simple, right? Sounds so simple. That is how we become women that are open and available to the people that need us, because we have clarity around what it is we need for ourselves, and we get that done, and we keep that in the zone, and we are fulfilled by the fact that we are showing up and doing that for ourselves. And then we're not resentful. Then we're not drained. Then we're not putting ourselves last on the list and wondering why we feel like shit. I'm almost at my hour mark, so I'm going to stop now. Cindy, I know you're out walking. I don't even know if I can see her on our thing. She might have dropped off. If anybody wanted to ask a question or share anything or say anything, I know it's quite overwhelming after I've just spoken at you. Otherwise, guys, there is nothing in particular that you have missed or you were supposed to get out of this. And if this just feels like a whole lot of overwhelm right now, that's okay. A lot of what I share needs to be digested. And you might think on it, you might feel on it. If this has irritated you, rubbed you up the wrong way, then I'm glad, friend. I am glad. Always listen in those moments where you feel yourself being irritated or pushed by someone who is lovingly offering up a conversation that isn't intended to be a diluted version of what you need to hear. We've got this. I'm telling you. You are so necessary. Who you are is so unique that it is impossible for me to know exactly what you need to hear, but I hope I have said something that's just activated one new thought form for you, or has released you from a thought form that wasn't serving you and has allowed you to feel a certain way today. Take that feeling, feel into it, allow it to expand, and allow yourself to just play in the exploration of what would come next if you took action from whatever it is you are feeling after this conversation. All right, my loves. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy today. I really appreciate you. This is recorded, and I will offer it up as an audio if you wanted to listen in again. Or for anybody that has missed it and is watching it on replay, thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. I encourage you to reach out and let me know what you have heard in this for yourself today, and we can continue the conversation. Alrighty. Thank you, guys.